This has been the end of our presentations. We can proceed with questions and answers now. I would like to start questions with Dilek now. I have read the text in a detailed manner. I'm going to be asking a few questions. Maybe you can deepen them further. In technologies, these methods are being discussed to a large extent. When we have a look at what we are discussing, the tendency to open an exhibition is a methodologic approach, but there is a media part in that. If everything is equal between the virtual exhibition and the real exhibition, I don't expect a measurable difference with regard to motivation among the students. So what I wonder is, have you ever asked the following questions? What do you prefer, virtual or reality? Which one is more encouraging?
Yani biz direkt hangisini tercih edersiniz gibi bir soru sormadık. Burada özellikle sanal sergiler üzerinde bir çalışma gerçekleştirdiğimiz için
since mostly based on virtual exhibitions, we didn't do that. However, we had this question, what are the effects of physical exhibitions? We asked for their opinions, and we actually included two questions about that. First one was about supporting physical exhibitions, and also
önemli hale geldiğini düşünüyoruz diye öyle bir karşılaştırma yapmıştık.
There was a statement that said I believe
önemli hale
virtual exhibitions are now as important as physical exhibitions. So
yani oldukça bu görüşe
so that people agreed with those.
Onun haricinde bir de sanal sergilerin, mekansal sergilerle birlikte düzenlenmesi konusu da ama öne çıktı. Yani mekansal sergilere de tabii ki hani önem verildiği.
Of course, physical exhibitions are always
sergilerde yer almak istediklerine dair olumlu yanıtlar görünüyor bizim anketlerimizde de.
And people give really positive responses to
negatif yanıtlar kısmında sanal sergilere katılmak istemediklerine yönelik de sorular sormuştuk. Yani sanal sergilere katılmayı istemiyorum. Ama mekansal sergiler önemli buluyorumu da işaretleyebilirlerdi. Öyle bir dönüş olmadı. Yani pozitif yanıtların yanı sıra, ifadelerin yanı sıra negatif ifadeler de kullandık. Bu yönde bir eğilim var mı acaba? Sadece mekansal sergileri tercih ederler miydi diye. Bu iki yanıtı birlikte ele aldığımız zaman ikisine de önem verdik.
But no, they were not valuing only one of them. They were valuing both of them based on the results of the survey. So to be able to differentiate to which rate they valued each one, we tried to find out their motivations behind valuing virtual exhibitions. And we found out that the main reason was them thinking that they can reach a wider audience, more crowded audience through virtual exhibitions.
Değildi. Yani bunun güçlendirilmesi gereken bir nokta olduğu ortaya çıktı. Böyle bu şekilde açıklayabilirim.
Utilizing both of them is a point of reinforcement that needs reinforcement. Another question. Does this motivation differ between departments and also between different grades? By the way, the number of participants are not high enough to actually go into too much detail on these questions, but I thought that, for example, maybe in fine arts, in departments that work on creating 3D objects, since with the current technologies, they cannot do it. Are they less motivated, and are people more motivated towards this if they are working in a department that creates 2D objects. And also maybe you can add questions and
Evet,
develop and
bu
improve the
geliştirilebilecek bir
survey
alan
by
dediğiniz gibi.
including
Şu anda zaten bizim
questions
öğrenciler
like
tarafında da
do
mimarlık bölümünden
students
ağırlıklı
in their
olarak
fourth year
katılım alacak. Bir de
evaluate
grafik
more or
tasarım
less
bölümünden
than
tabii ki
students
iki
in
bölümden
their
ağırlıklı
second
olarak
year, etc.
katılım
Yes, I
sağlandığını gördük.
completely agree.
Yalnız iki
We
bölüm arasındaki
had
sergi formatlarımızda
2
da
different
farklar
departments,
vardı.
this and
O
the exhibition
yüzden de
formats were also
aslında
different in those
bu
2 departments.
değerlendirmeyi
So
hem
as a result, this
sergi
evaluation,
içeriklerini biraz daha yapılandırıp aynı zamanda da biraz daha
I think,
geniş bir
needs
kitleyle
the
eş dağılımla
more
gerçekleştirdiğimiz yeni
configuration
bir araştırmada
of this
yanıtlamak daha doğru
format,
olabilir
and
dediğimiz gibi.
also, like you said,
Çünkü
more participants,
grafik tasarım bölümünde daha çok video sergilere ağırlık
because
vermiştik.
in
İçerikler bize o
graphic
şekilde
design department we
sağlandı.
included more
Bunun
video-based
haricinde
works,
mimarlık bölümünde
and
daha
in
interaktif
architecture
ama
department
tabii yine dediğimiz
things
gibi iki boyutlu
were
görsellerle
more
yapılan
interactive,
sergiler
but like
hazırlama
you said,
fırsatımız
there
oldu.
we had the chance
O
to
yüzden
come up with
ikisinin
exhibition 2D
deneyimi arasında da
exhibitions.
farklılıklar oluştu.
So
Açıkçası
yes,
hani o
these
da
two
burada zaten
experiences
açık
were
uçlu
different,
sorularda da
and open-ended
oradaki
questions
yorumlarda
in
da
the surveys.
görülebiliyor. Video
You
sergilerin
can see
izlenebilmesinin
them in
biraz
the
daha zor olduğu
reviews. The
yorumlar da ortaya çıktı.
results
Hatta
are very
hocalarımızda da
telling, and
öyle
I think watching
öne çıkan
videos can be
yorumlar
much more
oldu.
problematic. In fact, even
Bunların tabii yapılandırılıp
instructors gave
yeniden
such feedback.
değerlendirilmesi daha
So I think,
sağlıklı olacaktır.
right, like I said, configuration and re-evaluation of these can be much more healthy. Thank you so much, and I'm going to ask a few questions to Başak Hanım if she is here. Yes, I'm here. Thank you so much. Your work was really detailed and you had a great presentation. Thank you so much for that, first of all. So I wondered about 2 things. I had 2 questions. First one, as such, when did you hold the study, this research during the pandemic? Was it during this starting the initial phases of the pandemic? Was it in the middle or in last stages where people got accustomed to the pandemic? So to be precise, the mid-pandemic, I could say, that encapsulates the last stages of 2020 and the beginning stages of 2021. So I ask this because, as you know, since the more students get accustomed to these conditions, the more the pressure on them will lessen. So I was just wondering whether or not the results would change if this would repeat 4 or 5 more times. So maybe it would be really beneficial to give the time period, include the time period which it was conducted. And secondly, for my second question, in your study, you actually put for you evaluate more the belief of students in their self-confidence that they can be creative. So I wondered when I heard that, maybe if we could include their teachers' feedbacks on their works, or maybe through another channel or another method, not only students, not only students' own evaluation, self-evaluation, and also by including the instructors' feedbacks and also their evaluations, maybe we could see whether or not these two hold true when compared to each other, or are they harsher or maybe more lax when evaluating themselves. So what do you think about that? So yes, for your first question, I always thought that the data set was really restricted. It was not all that big, and maybe if we could actually make it bigger, results could change. I don't know about that, naturally. And secondly, yes, you're also right on that question, asking that question, but there is the fact that instructors are so passive during this period that I think a lot of instructors now think, and maybe myself included, thought, okay, let the students do whatever they do just so that they can learn. And but I really agree with what you say, and in fact, I even included that in my suggestions. I thank you so much for that. I think being here, listening to your suggestions, this is so important, because we must never forget that instructors are human beings as well. They can get psychological or physical problems. They can get moody or something. So yes, we went through a very trying period of time together, hand in hand, and I think we all did our best to control it as much as we could. Thank you so much. As far as I can see, there is no other question, and I don't have any questions either. So due to technical issues, we went a lot over times, and without further ado, I would like to finish this session. Thank you so much for listening.